When I think back to my engagement party, I can still hear the music, see the twinkle of the string lights, feel the weight of the ring on my finger, and remember the way people smiled at me as if I had already stepped into the perfect future. It was supposed to be the night that sealed everything together, the night that confirmed to everyone that Daniel and I were forever. Instead, it became the night that destroyed everything I thought I had. Daniel had planned the party down to the smallest detail. That's who he was. Thoughtful, meticulous, always making sure people around him were comfortable. The venue was a garden ballroom with tall glass windows and lanterns hanging from the trees outside. There were trays of champagne flutes circulating, soft jazz from a live band, and the faint smell of roses drifting in the air. People from both our families were there, as well as friends, co-workers, even some distant relatives I barely recognized. Everyone was there to celebrate us, to celebrate me. And for the first hour, I really believed the night was everything I'd dreamed of. Daniel stood tall, greeting everyone warmly, introducing me to his colleagues as if I was already his wife. I laughed with my bridesmaids, posed for pictures, and basked in the glow of everyone's attention. I wanted to be seen as the bride-to-be who had it all. The handsome fiancé, the beautiful ring, the perfect life ahead. I wanted to feel like I had one. Then Ryan walked in. Ryan, my ex. The one I had dated in college, the one I thought I'd marry before Daniel ever came into the picture. We had ended badly, full of shouting matches and silent treatments, but he had always had this pull on me. A mix of charm and recklessness that was impossible to ignore back then. I hadn't spoken to him in years, and I never expected to see him that night. But there he was, strolling into the party like he belonged, his tie loosened, that same smirk on his face. The moment our eyes met, my stomach dropped. It wasn't love. It wasn't longing. It was something more dangerous, nostalgia. That bittersweet reminder of how it felt to be young and careless and consumed by someone who knew exactly how to make me weak. I should have stayed away. I should have smiled politely and gone back to Daniel's side. But instead, I found myself walking toward him like I had no control over my own feet. We hugged, too long, and I felt my pulse quicken in a way it shouldn't have. He smelled the same. He smiled the same. And suddenly, for just a moment, I wasn't an engaged woman anymore. I was the girl he used to hold late at night when the world felt like it was ours alone. We made small talk. He complimented me, said I looked incredible, said Daniel was a lucky man. I laughed nervously, brushing off the compliment, but deep down a part of me liked hearing it. Daniel trusted me completely. He even came over, shook Ryan's hand, and went right back to hosting like nothing was wrong. He didn't hover, didn't question, didn't act jealous. That's the kind of man Daniel was. Secure, steady, calm. And that should have been enough for me. But it wasn't. As the night went on, I caught myself watching Ryan more than I should have. He stayed mostly on the edges of the room, sipping his drink, talking to old friends, but every so often our eyes would meet again. And each time, it was like a spark caught in dry wood. I hated myself for it, but I couldn't look away. At some point, Ryan slipped out into the garden. I told myself I was just going to get some air, to clear my head before returning to the party. But I followed him. We stood under the string lights, the music muffled by the glass doors behind us. For a minute, neither of us spoke. The silence was thick, heavy, and then Ryan leaned in, brushing his fingers along my arm the way he used to. My breath caught. My brain screamed at me to stop, to remember Daniel, to remember why I was there. But my heart, or maybe my ego, wanted to feel wanted in a way that Daniel's calm devotion didn't always give me. So I let Ryan kiss me. And then I kissed him back. It wasn't a long kiss, but it was enough. Enough to destroy everything. Because when I opened my eyes, Daniel was standing in the doorway watching. The look on his face is burned into me. He didn't yell. He didn't storm out. He didn't even say my name. He just stood there, his jaw tight, his shoulders rigid, his eyes filled with something worse than anger, disappointment. Quiet, absolute disappointment. Then he turned and walked away. By the time I ran after him, his car was already leaving the driveway. The rest of the night was a blur. Guests whispered, some stared at me, some avoided me. I pasted on a smile, lied to my mother when she asked where Daniel had gone, said he wasn't feeling well. But I could feel the shift. The admiration from earlier had turned into judgment, pity, disgust. And Ryan? He disappeared. Vanished into the night without a word, leaving me to deal with the wreckage alone. The next morning, I called Daniel over and over. He didn't pick up. I texted, begged, apologized. Nothing. When I finally went to his apartment, I found an envelope under the door with the key I had given him and a single note inside. The wedding is off. Please don't contact me. That was it. 3 years together, gone in one sentence. I tried reaching out to his family, his sister especially, who had always liked me. She told me bluntly that Daniel couldn't even look at me, that I had humiliated him in front of everyone, that there was nothing left to say. My own parents were furious, telling me I had embarrassed them in front of the entire guest list. Friends who used to gush about how lucky I was with Daniel now ignored me, or told me outright that I deserved what happened. Ryan never called. Never texted. He had gotten his moment of power over me, his ego boost, and then he went right back to his life. Whatever I thought was still there between us had been an illusion, and I had destroyed everything real for a ghost of the past. Now I live with the aftermath. The wedding dress still hangs in my closet, mocking me every time I open the door. The invitations we sent out, the registry, the plans. We had it all lined up. And now it's just gone. Daniel has blocked me everywhere. To him, I no longer exist. He's moved on, and I'm the one left alone, replaying the moment over and over in my head. It was just one kiss. That's what I told myself. Just one stupid mistake. But that one mistake told Daniel everything he needed to know about me. It told him I couldn't be trusted, that I wasn't ready for the life he wanted to give me, that I still clung to old habits and old temptations. He didn't need an explanation. He saw the truth in front of his eyes. I thought my engagement party would be the happiest night of my life. Instead, it was the end. I lost the man who truly loved me, not because he stopped loving me, but because I showed him I didn't deserve his love. And now I'm left with nothing but silence, regret, and the memory of his face in that doorway, the last time he ever looked at me as the woman he wanted to marry.